This is Game Time, coming to you from 734 Games, and this is your host, Tom. And before we get started with the fun stuff, my nephew is getting cancer treatments. His Gofundme is in the description. Any money given to this channel on Bitchute will go to his cancer treatments. Now let's get started. We are playing Cyberpunk 2077. Now this is a game that a lot of people have played, and there's a lot of opinions floating around about this game. So just check it out. I'll tell you how to enjoy this game if you're running this on an Xbox One X. Or maybe an Xbox, even though I don't have original VCR Xbox. So, let's get started.
Unabated gang wars.
One officer down, so I guess you're all screwed! Cause the NCPD will not let that go. Got another blackout in Santo Domingo. Netrunners are at it again, poking holes in the power grid. While over in Westbrook, trauma teams scraping cyber psycho victims off the pavement. And in Pacifica, well, Pacifica is still Pacifica. This has been your man, Stan. Join me for another day in our city of dreams.
And if you don't know, this is your host, Tom. And I told you that I was going to tell you how to enjoy this game on the Xbox One X. And maybe the Xbox. Well, I looked around the internet and I did this myself. I turned off motion blur and then I turned off film grain. So I turned those two things off and the game ran much more smoothly. I didn't really have any issues with really major glitches. The only thing, I did have some freezing sometimes, but the game would usually start up, or I would have the game crash. It'd either freeze and then start up again or crash. And I had the big update day one, and I had another update today, which is Saturday, the 12th of December. That's the day I'm taping this. That is I had an update today, and the game did look a lot better with that update. I don't know exactly what they did. I did not read the notes. I was just playing the game. I was getting ready to play the game, and I got this update. The game ran pretty good. I played for like three and a half hours, and then the game crashed. So there's still some issues with the game on consoles or the Xbox. I do not have the PlayStation 4 version of this game, and the reason I had the PlayStation 4 version, I did have that version I pre-ordered, but I decided not to pick that game up because Sony's censorship policies. I didn't want to have to deal with Sony censoring this game, because this game is a sort of an adult game. This game is not for your kids whatsoever, and I was afraid Sony was going to censor it like they have other games. But for some reason, I hear they didn't do that, and I don't know why. And I mean, they censored all the other games except for The Last of Us 2, which won a bunch of awards because it was such a great game, according to the critics, or some of the critics. But anyway, whatever that's the past, whatever. Right now, we are playing Cyberpunk 2077, so there really is no Last of Us 2. Now, Cyberpunk 2077, I did notice a difference after this last patch today, and the game looks much better. Of course, the presentation and the voice acting was what you expect from CD Projekt Red, and the writing is what you expect from the original writer of Cyberpunk, Mike Pondsmith, who actually he did not write this game. He consulted the writers for this game, so they basically consulted him through this game, and they wrote the people at CD Projekt Red actually wrote this game. So just because I made that mistake, I'm going to give you their names, because that would be I just have to do that just because I did that. It was my mistake. It was actually Marcin Blaka, Jacob I'm just tearing up these Polish names, and Stanislaw Sawicki. And I'm pretty much tearing up these names. I don't understand Polish names. I think it was Jacob Smolazalak was the one I missed. I'm not sure. But those are the guys who wrote the game. They're all CD Projekt Red guys who have they've been there. They wrote The Witcher 3, and they worked with Mike Pondsmith on this game, Cyberpunk 2077. So what you have here is a pretty decent game. Now, I'm enjoying this game on the Xbox One X. And I hear it's better on the Series X, although I hear the version isn't that much different. I'm just wondering, when I hear better, does it mean that the game does not crash on the Series X? Because that's the only problem I have, is every like three and a half, 4 hours, this game is going to crash on you. Now, as far as that goes, I don't know if the game, I keep hearing, oh, the Xbox One X or Series X version is so much better. But from what I've heard, they haven't really yet done an Xbox Series X, so you're just playing a version of this game that runs at maybe a higher frame rate, and that's about it. But the game, it runs great. The action is a lot. I'm enjoying the world. The world is very big. I mean, you kind of like the draw distance isn't that great on consoles, but it's not that bad either. And you do obviously have some popping because I'm not using you're not using a solid state drive on your One X. Like the Series X has a solid state drive, so obviously it's going to be better with that. But other than that, I mean, the game is pretty decent. Like I said, I turned those settings off. I turned off motion blur and the film grain, and I think the game looks pretty good with that. You know what I mean? I think the game looks great and runs great on the One X. And it runs better after the patch, but I was like, it's not perfect yet. And I'm sure CD Projekt Red is going to upgrade this game. Now, I know a lot of people out there who are playing this on the original PS4 and the original Xbox, and they really hate it. And I mean, that kind of sucks, but I mean, there's not much you can do. I mean, when you're kind of like, when you have a mid-gen refresh and you have new consoles coming out, the developers are obviously concentrating on the better hardware, and that's just the way things are going to go. Because really, I would say the baseline is almost the One X for this in this generation, although the One X is obviously last gen. It's because of sort of a mid-gen refresh, just like the PS Pro. Well, I saw videos of the PS Pro version, and it didn't look too bad either. So I guess, you know, if you have an Xbox One X or a PlayStation 4 Pro, then this is definitely a game you should get. I don't know if I would recommend this for somebody that has the original PlayStation 4 or Xbox One. But as a game, it's on its own, I would say this is a good game. Definitely pick it up. I'm thinking of still getting the PC version. I got the console version because I wanted the postcards and the keychain and all this other cool stuff that they had with it. So it's not really a keychain, it's like a necklace. But yeah, I picked up this version for the Xbox because I wanted the physical stuff. Although I found out that Best Buy did have a physical version for PC with a comic book and everything from Dark Horse. So I'm kind of disappointed. I kind of wish I would have picked that version up. But I didn't know any better. And so I got this version, and I'm enjoying it on my One X. I was looking for a Series X, but I could not get my hands on one this year. It just didn't have with all the scalpers. Now, guys out there, do not get desperate and buy this game or buy a Series X from a scalper, because a lot of stolen consoles are getting bricked by the manufacturer. These days, everything is like a cell phone. So if it's stolen and it's reported stolen, it's not, you're going to get it home, you're going to plug it into the network, and it's going to be bricked, and that's going to be, you're going to have a pretty piece of plastic. And that's pretty much it. Check out Cyberpunk 2077. I'm enjoying the game. It's a great game, and I think you'll enjoy it as well. And that's pretty much it for this episode of Game Time. This is your host, Tom, signing off from 734 Games, where gaming is alive.
Beating. Hear it? Can you imagine? Susan Forrest,
Hey.
Boa Boa, maybe
Grab a
even
seat.
Morgan Blackhand.
Went into town once.
Fell asleep on that same bar.
Dropped a few tons of ordnance on it. On the whole, every gun.
Looks like we're up.
Hey, you see that old lady there? That's Rogue. Best fixer in all of Night City.
Thought Dex was the best.
Rogue was lining up jobs when Dex was still shitting in diapers. Place belongs to her.
What can I get you?
You order.
2 tequila old fashions with a splash of cerveza and a chili garnish.
Duo of Johnny Silverhands coming up.